Hi guys, in this video you will learn about types of vulnerability assessment. As we saw before in previous video, that vulnerability assessment is the process of finding, assessing, and prioritizing the system's weaknesses. Some of my friends ask me about difference between vulnerability assessment versus penetration testing. Let me clear this first. Vulnerability assessment seeks to identify vulnerabilities and weaknesses, whereas penetration testing actively exploits these flaws to determine their real-world impact. Vulnerability assessments can help organizations identify problem areas and prioritize improvements, whereas penetration testing helps organizations understand the possible effects of successful attacks and improve their incident response capabilities. Let's see some key features of penetration testing. Active exploitation. Penetration testing involves actively attempting to exploit vulnerabilities in order to determine their impact. Realistic circumstances. Testers replicate real-world assault situations to discover probable entry points and damage levels. Manual and automated testing. Both manual and automatic tools are used to find and exploit vulnerabilities. Limited scope. Penetration testing is usually limited to specific target systems or components. And actionable insights. Penetration testing gives actionable information about the effectiveness of security measures and the potential consequences of successful attacks. Let's move on to different types of vulnerability assessment. Number 1. Wireless assessment. Wireless assessments look at a variety of environmental, architectural, and configuration factors that have a direct impact on the security and functionality of your current wireless setup. This includes reviewing all of your wireless access points and how they spread throughout your environment. This would also include assessing physical installations, such as access point mounting and orientation. Number 2. Build assessment. Build assessment is the practice of checking software or application builds for security or performance flaws. These security flaws could affect the application's performance at a later point. Furthermore, hackers and viruses frequently hunt for security flaws or weaknesses to exploit, and thereby compromise the system. As a result, a build vulnerability assessment facilitates a uniform review of your application and system architecture, security system design, and the technology used in your present configuration. This helps to prevent or control vulnerability buildup caused by security or performance problems. Number 3. Web application assessment. This type of assessment identifies security vulnerabilities through front-end automated scans or by performing dynamic or static code analysis. It is a mechanism required for online and cloud-based applications. Network vulnerability scanners scan the web server and its operating systems, whereas web application scanners focus on the applications executing code. Unlike traditional vulnerability scans, which use a database of known vulnerabilities and misconfigurations, web application vulnerability scanners are specialized applications that seek for typical online problems like cross-site scripting, SQL injection, command injection, and path traversal. They can identify previously unknown vulnerabilities that are specific to the assessed application. This is also known as dynamic application security testing, and is commonly utilized by penetration testers. These work in cooperation with static application security testing tools, which analyze the actual source code of web apps during the development stage as part of secure development lifecycles. Number 4. Database assessments. The database security assessment is a process of identifying vulnerabilities or weaknesses in database systems such as Oracle, Microsoft SQL, MySQL, and PostgreSQL. The first risk factor is assessed by determining a database's sensitivity to a set of known vulnerabilities and attack scenarios. This vulnerability could be caused by a configuration issue, such as a lack of a database password policy, a misconfiguration of critical files, such as the listener or audit trails, or a privilege management error, such as public access to a sensitive table. Number 5. Host-based assessment. Host-based vulnerability assessment is a testing method that gives an in-depth knowledge of possible internal and external risk exposure and the impact on business. It is an assessment that conducts extensive research of systems and networks to uncover security flaws that must be fixed. The auditor examines the system from the security standpoint of a user who may have access to the system or network within the organization. So, this assessment provides information on the possible insider threat to systems and networks. The assessment assists in identifying questionable insider activity and detecting attackers who have already infiltrated the system. This way, the host-based assessment adds an extra layer of security to help prevent internal misuse or external intruders from compromising security and accessing information. Number 6. Secure configuration assessment. It is critical to assess risks that exist within an organization's systems and networks. Secure configuration assessment is a procedure for identifying vulnerabilities in your infrastructure's underlying configuration. This includes firewall or web application firewall, sufficiency of your data loss prevention security matrix, configurations of your routers, switches, servers, VPNs, network access control, and mainframes, etc. The analysis identifies potential vulnerabilities and misconfigurations in systems and applications that a hacker could use to gain access. Overall, the assessment provides insight into the existing security posture by providing a comprehensive analysis of access restrictions, services, and applications running on important systems, as well as identifying missing security patches. Number 7. Mobile Application Assessment. Mobile application assessment is the practice of assessing mobile applications to ensure that they are secure against potential attacks. The specialists execute a check of your mobile apps and their APIs to evaluate their defensive mechanism against known and prospective threats. This assists in identifying vulnerabilities and potential risk exposes in your applications, such as session management, password storage, and man-in-the-middle attacks. The security assessment includes both dynamic and static mobile security testing methodologies for evaluation. It is an examination that examines security measures, application behavior, and privacy checks. Overall, the assessment improves operational efficiency, minimizes risk exposure, implements actionable security measures, fulfills necessary compliance requirements, and ensures that applications are secure against potential threats.